We're on, girl. We are
right.
live.
All right.
Welcome to the Actors Talk with me, your host, Gabby Kennedy. The Actors Talk is being presented to you by URBANFEST 360, a film festival happening in Orlando, September 20th and 21st. Now, today I'm joined by Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, Michael Wilson, Karen Broadway-Wilson. Michael is a musician. Am I right about that, Michael? Yes. We're gonna get into we're gonna introduce Ruwah later because I feel like it might be two different people going on. Miss Karen Broadway-Wilson is the founder of BroadWil Films. She is a screenwriter and the director of Trial by Fire. And Mr. Michael Wilson, also known as Ruwah, is a seasoned musician and the director of music for Trial by Fire. Guys, thank y'all so much for being here with me today. Where are you joining me from?
We're joining you from in our home in Long Island, New York.
Long Island. All right. I love it. Love it. Love it. I used to live in New York for a little while, so much love for New York people. All right. Now today I found out that Karen, you'll be doing a panel at URBANFEST 360.
Yeah.
Is that right? Can you share with me a little bit about your panel?
Sure. It is kind of based out of the movie where you have different representing the female, the African American female or minority females who sometimes are a little dismissed when it comes to places of authority. And although they are there, sometimes they don't get the same treatment.
Okay.
So we'll talk about how they, a little bit about the experiences that they have. And even though they are also used to heal the community and to bring unity, but sometimes they're not treated as well as our counterparts.
Yes, that's good.
Like sexism, racism, a little of that going on in different places of influence. A lot of people aren't ready for women to be in power and of influence, so they get a little pushback, and you're going to see a little bit of that pushback in the movie. And we discussed that in the panel as well. We'll be talking about that.
Okay, all right. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to hear more about the panel. Now, Mr. Michael, I want to start calling you Ruwah, but I had to make sure that we were established. Tell me about your journey as a musician and where the name Ruwah came from.
Well, it's a lot to say. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible.
Okay.
I started out playing drums at 8. Took some form of piano lessons. I was fortunate to have gone to a school district where we had a good music program. I was in the band. Also, we had my friend's mother had like a youth group, and so we started doing Christian rap around the age of 12, 13 years old. We used to be called Until Armageddon, and we wrapped up until young adult age into our 20s. Group separated. I continued. My journey has been one of determination. I have recorded songs on my own, released songs. I used to have different MC names prior to, I say within the last maybe 5-6 years, I changed my MC name to Ruwah, which means breath of God. And I wanted something trendy and modern. I had Beatmaster. I had some people back know me from the old name, but I wanted something trendy, and I wanted something that could resonate with all audiences when they hear the name. Sometimes if you say Beatmaster, that might be a cultural thing when only some people be able to identify. But I wanted something that was more spiritual, that kind of exemplified what I was doing. So when I talk about my music journey, and as I grew spiritually in the things of the Lord, I felt it was necessary to encourage and to uplift. And also, I'm of West Indian descent, so I have a West Indian background. So I've always liked dancehall and calypso music and soca music. And I felt that this was a unique way to reach the masses. Yes, I like the regular rap beats, the straightforward, rap beats that we're accustomed to hearing, the the trap beats, the regular beats, the boom bap beats from the 90s. But I wanted something a little bit different. You know, I wanted a way to just be able to express myself and get homage to my culture, and just really reach out and make a difference. And I've always been impressed with like a dancehall artist, Buju Banton.
Oh yeah.
And you know, he always had like a deep, powerful voice. So when he was, you know, like the way he would recite his music and just sing over the music, I was just greatly impressed with that. So I said, not that I want to steal his work, but I wanted something that was just powerful like that. And so with that, I used the combination of the music, the culture, the spiritual uplifting, the message to be able to encourage lives, to be able to present by my circumstance and through my experiences how I met a situation, how I turned to God, and how He turned it around. And you know, I would say in my journey, I've recorded music. I have music on all major platforms. I've had a chance to minister in a lot of places. Different locations, different ministries. I would say I've had some high points. Sometimes it got a little bit quiet, but my trajectory has just always just been consistent. And that's just to put out, you know, the music, to put out the message, and just to use whatever resources I have to maybe someday have a more of a stable and larger platform than I have.
Yeah, yeah. And I can feel that through the song Tried by Fire, which is the theme song for the movie Tried by Fire. And we're gonna come back to that in a little while. Miss Karen, will you please tell me a little bit about your journey as a director and a screenwriter for the people who may not know?
Sure. My mother always said I was a drama queen. So I've been writing stories since I was young. For some reason, I just love writing stories and creating stories. I used to play with my dolls, and they were my actors, and had a stage, and I had to mix up all kinds of stories with my dolls. And so I began writing probably like in 6th grade, just writing stories, just pages of stories and stories. Then I used the drama, and I used to have skits in my backyard and just do all kind of plays. And my friends became the actors. They loved acting. And then from there, doors started opening. People started knowing me for putting on plays, for writing stories. And so that took me to the Apollo Theater and Caroline's on Broadway, and took me to different platforms across the country, traveling with him before we even married, before we even connected, traveling, teaching even like real young children, drama and music. And it just opened up so many doors for me. And then in 2021, I was like, wow, I would love to do a film. I have so many stories inside of me, and I would love to do a film. And then that's why I created BroadWil Films, and then my first movie, Tried by Fire, which is kind of like the tale in the middle of the pandemic. And so a lot of what I got of feeling emotions, I got a lot of that was birthed a little bit from the pandemic. Feeling some of the separation that was happening with people. So that was my journey, you know, and just really keeping God first and asking Him to help me to write through me. I love telling stories, you know. I love writing. It is like it's a passion. Yeah. And it was a work to see myself doing this writing. And I loved writing stories that people could relate to. I didn't want to, like, you know, I know some people, that's their thing, they do fairy tales, but I wanted to do something that people could relate to. Well, they walk away and say, wow, that was just not a message, but there's movement. I wanted to write movies that cause a movement. Yeah. And so that was my goal, is to cause a movement. So you walk away thinking about like, ooh, I got to change that in my life. Oh, this, you know what? I need some help in this. Or I was inspired by that to do better. Yeah. You know, that was that was a lot of what I focused on. I want the movie to have a movement. Yeah. Changed and impacted and affected and infected with positivity. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And just from watching the trailer, which I'm going to share here shortly, is that okay with you if I share that trailer?
Sure.
All right. We're going to share that. But before we get into that trailer, I want to ask you guys sort of a fun question. All right. If you guys were having a big celebration, say maybe for like your next big anniversary, who is one artist that you would want to come and perform? It could be anybody in the world. Somebody that will come and perform for your family and friends to turn your party up.
Okay, you go first. Let him go first.
That's a hard question. There's a lot of artists that I like. I think I'd be glad if any celebrity, gospel celebrity like Clark sisters, Fred Hammond, Kirk Franklin, even in secular. Now, you may not agree with this, but I've always liked Wu-Tang Clan. I've always liked Big Daddy Kane, some of those guys like that. Even Common, maybe have one of them. Of course, they wouldn't bring the cursing side of it, but I feel like their presentation, the aura that they bring. I'm talking about Wu-Tang Clan. Just as a rap group, also just their whole presentation. That would be somebody I would like to come through. Clark sisters, with the singing, they have a soulful presence, and they're not just four women just singing the songs, but they have a humor, and they have a great about them, and they just bring an atmosphere of just celebration and worship. Of course, Kirk Franklin, he's still doing his thing. Fred Hammond is just smooth. It'll be nice, to see him grace the stage. So a lot of the artists, but any one of them, I feel would be a blessing. If they were to, grace the stage with a song and just did something, I'd be very honored to have that.
Yeah. Okay. Karen, who you got?
Let's see. I wouldn't mind having the Winans step through.
Ooh.
I wouldn't mind having all the brothers and sisters, Cece and all of them come through. And I'm a fan of Salt and Pepper too.
Everybody, you guys.
So I like them, and and I think that would maybe we need some. We need some Patti LaBelle up in there too.
Hey. Now you're setting the mood. Yeah, that's right. Now your family will leave. Your family and friends will leave like, man, that was a good party.
Right?
That's what you want. All right. So for our audience to get to know you guys a little bit more as couples, because for me, I love to see family doing it together. One of my biggest flexes is that I'm doing what I'm doing with my family. So when I come across people who exemplify Black love, I'm all for it, because people don't know just how much it takes to be in entertainment and doing it with your family. And when you're doing it with a spirit of excellence, that's where it's at. So just real quick, we have a fun game. I call it Couples Edition, right? You might have seen it on social media before, where I ask you a question and you point to the other person. So if you guys could bring your hand up into the screen so that I could see, I'm going to ask a question. There we go. All right. I'm going to ask you a question and you point to who it is, rather it's yourself or rather it's your partner. Okay. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. Ready? Who said I love you first? Michael, I didn't see your hand.
She pointed to me first, so I guess
you have to point too. So you point too, same time.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, all right. Here's the next question. Who takes longer to get ready in the morning? Who's more competitive when playing games? Okay. Well, both you said the other way.
When it comes to basketball, I try to just show her who's better at basketball, but she doesn't go away quietly though.
Yeah, I play basketball too, so I know the vibes. All right. Who's more likely to lose their keys or misplace their keys or their phone?
Me.
All right. Who plans a better date night?
No, I do.
Okay. All right. Who's more romantic?
Me.
All right. Who's the better cook?
Me.
All right. And maybe that's because you're cooking that West Indian food. All right. Who's more stressed before a big deadline or a big show? Who's more, yeah. Who gives better gifts?
I don't know.
All right. Who's more likely to fall asleep during a movie? My husband too. All right. And the last one, who has the better taste in music?
Ooh,
Better
that's
taste
kind
in
of
music.
interesting.
Wow.
That's
Okay. That's a hard one.
Yeah,
We're very confident on music.
I think that's an equal because I like a lot of different music backgrounds. Karen also has an appreciation for a lot of different genres of music as well.
Mhm. All right. So real quick here, guys, we're gonna get into. Wait, first, thank you for playing that with me. I've always wanted to play that. I don't get many opportunities to speak to husband and wife, so that was a lot of fun. And it's a conversation piece too. Now you guys got something to talk about.
That's all right.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. So quickly here, we are gonna play. We are going to play the trailer for Trial by Fire. Here we go.
Yeah, Mama was no joke. Like, she was top tier in her academy.
Wow, so let me make sure I get this straight. You went from chief of police to pastor.
Yes. After 15 years of law enforcement, I went over to take a walk out of the church.
Yeah, till this day, the police department calls her in for consultation when they have a difficult case.
Well, this really strong connection.
To the church.
And all I would really like to do is help build and hopefully add to your life.
You're falling in love.
Not gonna lie, me personally, I think they're racist.
They are.
I'll let it go when blacks go back to where they belong. This is our town. We will do whatever we need to do, even if that means taking back what belongs to us. This is our town. We can't allow them to come in and take over. She needs to go downtown. Most of her own people live. He confirmed it was empty. My God, Jerry, we can't afford mistakes like this. We're dealing with a former police chief.
No, thank goodness!
Let's go to build this church from the ground up.
Pastor Mia?
This community was built on the back of slaves.
Beautiful round of applause for the cast and crew of Trial by Fire. I mean, and that's just off of the trailer. So Karen, I have a question for you. Why was it important for you to tell this story?
It was important to me because like I said, I feel like I wanted to highlight even women of power and influence, also show their strength, but also show their vulnerability. Just because you're a woman of power doesn't mean you have vulnerability. Especially African American women, they're always shown as hard and harsh and hard, but there's a softness to them, and you can have strength and be humble at the same time, and you could be and you can have strength and be soft at the same time. And I wanted to show and just the message that to fight for your legacy. There will be things in life, and here there was a lot of oppositional forces to take over her legacy. And also hold on to your legacy, that thing, that dream, that goal, that vision. Don't let anybody just come in and to take what belongs to you, what you have inherited. And that could be spiritual, could be something physical, but hold on to your legacy. That could be a vision that you have. Hold on to it and know that because you have a legacy, because you have a dream, there's going to be some warfare. There's going to be some fights. Yeah. And you're going to have to fight for it. And so your dream is worth fighting for. And I show there that there's opposition, but yet in the opposition, there is also some choices you're gonna have to make. You know, you can either you can go rogue, you know, or you can really say, you know, I got to do something different than what my family did. I got to do something different. And so I think I wanted people to see, and also I want to see people to understand that racism still exists.
Yeah.
That it's like cancer. It's still here, and there's not a cure for it yet. You know, it's human. You know, and so I wanted them to see that it still exists, and that because we bring it to light doesn't mean we're hating on people. We just talking about reality. You know, just that we're talking about it doesn't mean that we are against other cultures or other people, but it's just the reality that we live in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's important to tell. That's why it's so important to tell our stories, because we're able to tell it from a point of view. Other stories have already been told. Now you're telling it through our eyes, and that's what makes it beautiful. Nobody can tell our stories like us. So thank you for highlighting and you know, highlighting the issues that are important to women, and also bringing up racism. Those are the type of things that help cure racism. The conversations that'll be around your film Tried by Fire, that's how it happens. So you're a part of that movement, just like you say, you create a movement. My next question for you, as far as your cast and your crew, I know that you work with the beautiful and talented Miss Melba Moore, the legendary Miss Melba Moore. Please tell me a little bit about how it was working with her.
Melba, this is our second time working with Melba. She worked with us at the Apollo Theater, so it was good working with her again. She's so graceful, and she is so, you know, she's just consistent. You know, her sound, her music, kind person, sits there, just talks. You know, like everybody else, doesn't want to be any special treatment. She wants to just talk. She wants to blend it with people. She wants to know about people. Such a kind person, just a kind person, very easygoing, you know. Boy, when she starts singing though, and she goes into that vein, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, let's make sure that, you know. So it was beautiful working with her, you know. You know, she's definitely a gift, and she's just such a blessing to work with.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Michael, you also played a role in the movie Tried by Fire too. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right, tell me a little bit about your experience on set and what message you think people will receive after watching Tried by Fire.
It has been awesome learning experience for me, because it's not just music creation, it's interpretation. It's being able to look at some footage and being able to capture the sentiment and the feeling of what's happening in the film. And this was something that I had to learn. I had to learn various, you know, like the software out there, adding music, adding transition, adding different things to it. And what I got mostly out of it was that the message that I wanted to convey with each and every scene, I wanted to be relatable. I didn't want, like, I don't want to say corny music, but I wanted something that just fit, that was apropos with the scene. That you know, I contributed to a lot of scenes. I also want to give credit. We had two other guys helping us. It was Rick Belford. Also, there was another gentleman, Jeffrey, that assisted me, and we collaborated together, and we put together different kind of music. There was a love scene done by Rick that encompassed more of today's natural sound with the low deep tones and the nuances of the music. I also added some of my flavor to. There was a scene there where one gentleman was trying to convince Mia, the star character, not to go to the warehouse to get revenge. One of my tracks featured there. So for me, it's just been an awesome time being able to put together not only my own tracks, but to be able to put in different kind of music to capture the mood. There was a church scene that it was an aerial view, kind of like a panoramic view. It just came down, and we found a nice track for that just kind of really set the mood. So I'm proud of what I've done, because I think as a whole, I just really wanted the music to be entertaining in itself. It's one thing to make a movie, but it's quite another thing to make a movie with interesting music.
That's right.
You could have a nice movie, but the movie is not going to have the desired effect if you have like simple, not so happening music. But I have seen other music in other movies other than the one that we created, where when that track came on, it was like I was focusing more on the track than the scene, and that's what I wanted to do. So, we created some tracks that when the track hit, for instance, there was another scene where
telling the whole movie. Tell the whole movie.
All right, let me just say one more thing.
You know what? Okay.
All right, Pastor
Mia, something, yeah.
Yeah, Pastor Mia is sitting in the car, right? She's praying, asking God for what's happening next. And we have a song, "Heal Me, O Lord," and it has like a nice, slow, undergroove tone, and then this like this elaborate drum fill just comes in, and it just sets the whole thing. And when you look at it and you visualize it, you're like, okay, all right, now we're ready. Now God is answering. She has hope. She's ready to move on. And that's what we try to portray throughout the whole course of the movie, just to be uplifting, to be encouraging, and to really capture the essence of the scene.
Yeah. And as you were explaining that last scene, I was visualizing it. I felt that, just the way you like, now we're ready. I felt that. I know exactly the nuance that you're describing. So I know it's going to be good. Is there going to be a playlist for this movie somewhere that people can listen to the music?
Definitely.
That's forthcoming.
Definitely on the list.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we talked a little bit about Miss Melba Moore, but also the lead actress, Pastor Mia. How did you know that she was the one for this role, Karen?
I interviewed several people, and it just was not clicking, and I even interviewed a couple like that could play he could play her love interest. And I was like, oh my, and I was like, God, please send the right person. When she sent in her pictures, I was like, okay, this is the look I want. And then when I met her in person, when we did a Zoom with her, and her presence, I was like, that's what I want. I want someone who's strong, who makes a statement. Because you have to be able to make a statement even when you pop on screen. You got to be, and she made a strong statement. Her presence was a statement. And I was like, this is what I want. And Shanetta's so flexible. You tell her to do something, she'll do it. She just blends into the part. I felt like the story became her. She was able to portray that part from even her own life experiences. I felt that she had gone through. She just brought it all to the table. She's an actress that works 110.
Yeah.
110.
Yeah. Well, tell me about the rest of your team. Tell me about the rest of your team at BroadWil Films.
Sure. So we had several actors. So we had Jerry, who plays her lover in the movie. Awesome guy. All of them actors. All of them have a passion for actors, for acting. We became a family, We have Jeff Bird, great actor, great personality, Kathy Merrigan, Frank Muni. I mean, the whole crew, even the extras were great. Carol Overton, we just had some great people, and they all had some acting, they all had a passion for acting. So across the screen, and all so willing and so flexible. And of course we had Vera Moore, who was the first, African-American actress in another world. And she just came and she was the mother on scene and off a scene. Vera,
every set needs that.
Yes, right? Who she is on scene is who she is. She's just caring and loving, strong, but yet soft. She's just phenomenal.
Okay. All right. Looking back on your journey to creating Tried by Fire for the both of you, creating the music, creating the story, what is one thing that you want to share with the audience? Maybe something that they may not know about the process of creating this film. Maybe a behind the scenes moment, or just something inspirational.
Sure.
We'll start with Karen.
Sure. When we were doing this scene, when we were rehearsing, I also want to give thanks to my sister, who's assistant director as well.
That's what I was doing. Yeah.
She had a lot of great input. Between her and my husband, they had so much great input, helped us even shape Trial by Fire, and she pitched some ideas, and so I was really grateful for her too. So what was really memorable and really what stood out was when we were doing one Zoom rehearsal, and one of the actors, Frank Muni, you're going to see, he's one of the bad guys, we would say, right? One of the antagonists in the movie. And he has to play a really racist guy, And when we began to go over it, he began to have tears in his eyes. And now Frank is former police, and I was like, well, he's like, I can't believe that someone would be this way. Mm. I was like, we all got teary-eyed, he's like, I'm having a hard time doing this part.
Yeah.
Someone actually be this way. He got really choked up. He said, I can't believe someone would actually be this way.
Yeah.
And that touched everyone that was on set. It was like, wow. He said, this is challenging for me. I'm being real with you. He said, this is challenging. And so I was just blessed by his transparency. Mm-hmm. And also that he could play such a good part.
Yeah.
He didn't allow that to affect his ability to bring 110.
Yes.
So that was an emotional moment, but also a moment where I began to even appreciate him more and his gift even more. And I think the entire cast did. Beautiful. And so that was, it was a little emotional, but also it was inspirational because it was like, wow, he really understands the struggle. He really understands the struggle. And so that was really touching.
Yeah. All right, Michael, for you?
Yes, for me, in a nutshell, collaboration and having help in doing your project is key, because with that comes support, strength. Putting together music for a full feature film, it can be daunting because it's not just 3 or 4 tracks. You have about 20 or 30 scenes. So now you have to have a track for each scene. You have to have something to express and to mimic and to exemplify and to bring out each and every scene. That sometimes it was a challenge, but I have found, and there was about 2 or 3 times we invited a friend over. His name was Jeff.
Jeff Perry.
Jeff Perry.
Musician as well.
And he's a musician as well. And Jeff had such a zeal for the music. He said, look, I did this, I created this, I added this, I went ahead and I did this. I took the entire movie and I broke it down by each and every segment. Nice. And all that to say is, when you have people that you're collaborating with and everybody's on 100 and everybody's on go and everybody has a spirit of excellence, it causes the entire process to flow. And I recall one time we had hosted him for dinner and said, hey, why don't you come down, have dinner with us? Let's go over our music. Let's begin to flesh in the music for the movie. So he comes in and he just breaks out all of these things. And it's almost like we went from one side of the field to the other side of the field in a short period of time. And that to me was what was a blessing, because it blessed him. You never know when you ask people to be a part of your project, not only is it to help you, but it's also a ministry to them.
Yeah.
And what I noticed that Jeff was greatly blessed. He was excited about the music, and it literally transformed him and just brought him from one place to another. Just brought him to a higher height. And I was just so glad to have had the opportunity to invite him to collaborate. So for me, musically speaking, when you have a team, it's the ministry within the ministry. So yes, we're making a movie, we're doing music, but now we had a chance to pour into a guy. We had a chance to have this guy blossom, to bring out his best.
Yeah.
And for the other guy, Rick, same thing. There was another time he also came to our house to contribute at one particular time some music, and he came in and just came up with this nice, elaborate, deep, bassy, soulful tone, and it's just he just created this in a short period of time. And that song, actually he did two. There was a jogging scene in the beginning and another love scene, and it's like he synthesized these songs in a short period of time. So when you collaborate, you really give people a chance to really express themselves, and you could see their heart in it. So I think for me, working with the team, contributing my own music, just seeing the joy on the faces just really does a lot.
Yeah, you will hear so many filmmakers, so many people in entertainment talk about the power of collaboration. It is just the key. It's the keys to the industry, collaboration. So you're absolutely right about that. In creating this theme song for Tried by Fire, let's see, it was an echo to the emotional and spiritual essence of the film. And I thought that was beautifully said. And now the way that you're describing it, I know that's exactly what we're going to get. So I don't know if you answer my question. Will we be able to get a playlist for this film? Will there be a playlist that'll be released somewhere that we can gain access to this music?
Yes, I'm currently working on that now.
Yep.
We have a lot of tracks that we want to really showcase and make it available. There's several wonderful tracks throughout the course of the whole film that just very notable. Noticeable, not even just the filler in between the scenes, but specific tracks that stand out. I'm going to highlight those and I'm going to present those in a little bit.
Nice. All right. Now, as far as BroadWil Films, Karen, are you writing anything or working on anything that you could tell us about after Tried by Fire?
Yeah, I wrote down some notes. I'm thinking about a sequel. When people saw that, they're like, wow, I can see a sequel to that. So I'm getting together some ideas about a sequel, so my goal right now is to push Tried by Fire out. And once I get a distribution deal, streaming or deal, I definitely want to work on the sequel. And also I love series. So I would love to do some of these Netflix series or some of these Hulu. I love series. I have a lot of stories in me. I'm always writing in layers. There's always something connected to something else. So I'm definitely working on that sequel. And so next year, end of this year, I'll be working on that and moving into that.
Okay. All right. Now, Karen, if you could give advice to somebody that's looking at you and saying, look at everything that she's done, being on the stage at Apollo, the Carolines, and now having your own production company and creating a movement like Tried by Fire. If you could give a young director some advice, what would that advice be?
It would be to stay focused. There's going to be so many things that are going to try to interfere with your dream, with your vision, with your goal, and a lot of things that take you off course. Because it happened to me. I've gotten opportunities. Well, let me, take it this way. Well, let me take it that way, and but you have to remember the vision that you got, because if you don't remember the vision that you got, then there's division. Your vision is divided, and it's not potent. So you have to hold on to the vision that you got. Stay focused. Stay with the right, what I call the right tribe. Stay with the right tribe, the right people that encourage you to stay focused, the right people that will lift you up when you're having like a moment. Stay focused on that which was placed inside of you, what God gave you. Stay focused on your dream, on your vision. It's simple. It seems simple, but it's sometimes the hardest thing to do is to stay focused. Keep your eyes on the vision. Don't let anybody distract you. Keep the right people in your life. And I think with the right people in your life to help you to stay on that track is very beneficial and essential.
That's good. That's good. Now, Mike, I'm going to ask you the same thing. If you could give advice to a young musician, I mean, look at how far you've come. You've been creating music essentially your whole life. Um, what advice would you give to a young musician?
First and foremost, you have to know who you are, know your skills, know your talent. As my wife Karen said, be focused, but also you have to choose what voices to listen to. Society likes to have like a template, like who's hot, who's not, who's in, who's not. But I've come to learn that if your music is good, people are gonna like it, people are gonna play it. And music can be timeless. I do believe in being relevant to the times, but sometimes we I would tell that young artist, look, don't get caught up in what everybody thinks. Play what's in your heart, put out what God gave you, go on, record your track, do your lyrics, sing, whatever it is that you want to put on your track, go on and put your music out there and let God bless it. Because if you get caught up with, well, he said and she said, woulda, coulda, shoulda, and what people think, it literally causes you to freeze and you go, stop, go. And that's another thing. Just keep on going for your dream. Don't give up. Some people like, well, there's other factors, age, this and that. No, go for your dream. I always say I would have rather have tried and gone and made it than to have not made it or to have not made any effort, and I just feel that as you step out in faith, as you try, as you have your focus, that God blesses it. And also the most revelatory thing I got as a musician is there's an audience for you. There's an audience for each and every person.
That's right.
I look at other recording artists around the world and I see young and old from various time frames, various genres of music that, oh, so-and-so's in concert, this is in concert. And I'm saying to myself, really, they're still doing concerts? They're still packing out stadiums. People are still coming to see him. And what I would leave with that young musician coming up is that there is a crowd of people that will want to hear you. And you don't have to worry. There's always going to be somebody. There's going to be a crowd. There's going to be a base. There's going to be a fan base. There's going to be a group of people that will honor your music and like to listen and come and see your concerts.
Yeah, that's good advice. That's good advice. You're absolutely right too. Sometimes you think, okay, I have a song, I've played it, people have heard it, I've promoted myself, but never stop promoting yourself because there's still an audience that hasn't heard you. There are still people out there that need what you're putting out. So that's good advice for a young artist. Now, I don't want to dismiss these T-shirts that I see you guys wearing. Can we get one of those T-shirts? Is there a place where people can support you and get a T-shirt?
Yes, they can go on our website and order a T-shirt.
All right. And what is that website? How can we connect with you guys?
Sure, BroadWilFilms.com.
BroadWilFilms.com. That's good. That's good. Now, a question, the big question, will we see you guys? I know, yes, Karen, for you. Michael, are you also coming to UrbanFest 360?
Yes.
All right. Have you guys been to Orlando before?
Yes.
Several times.
Yes. Family.
All right. For family. All right. Yeah. Nice. I don't live in Orlando, but I grew up in Orlando, a Disney kid. My dad worked for Epcot, so that's where it was at, like every other weekend. So I have such a love for Orlando, the people, the melting pot of Orlando that it is. Before we get out of here, what's next for Tribe by Fire? What are you guys going to do next? Are you going to continue to go to film festivals?
Yes, well, for Tribe by Fire, yes, I might do, think about some more film festivals, but now my goal is distribution. And so just, networking, connecting through the film festivals and a lot of networking,
yes.
Right? Really connecting. I did like 2 screenings already, 2 private screenings, and they did very well in New York and Atlanta. So we'll see what's next, but to keep the movement going.
Yes.
Networking, talking to people, and putting it out there so that before the end of the year, people will be able to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can the community of filmmakers and the community of musicians support your efforts with Trial by Fire? How can we support you?
They can follow us on all social media. Trial by Fire Film, BroadWil Films, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They can follow us on all levels of social media, and that would be great. Yes.
All right. All right. That sounds good. Yeah, that support and it's free. It goes a very long way. Now, before we get out of here, I'm gonna play a little tune. There we go. We hear that? Hey, so as we wrap up our interview, playing a little bit of Trial by Fire by Ruwah, the theme song to the movie Trial by Fire. Aaron and Michael, thank you so much for joining me. And we look forward to seeing you at URBANFEST 360, happening September 20th through 21st at Apple TV Studios in Orlando. Thank you so much, family. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you for having us, Gabby. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye, guys. Yeah, a little bit of that. Let that rock. Yeah. All right. This has been another song with your host, Gabby Kennedy, Michael, and Karen Wilson, Trial by Fire. We'll see you in Orlando.
We're on, girl. We are live.
All right.